This week you win a random knife. I don't know which because the market is a chaos, but the winner of this week's giveaway gets a knife. To enter, like every week, like, comment and subscribe and click to the posting on my Discord server, link below. Thanks! Okay, the update is 1 week old and I am recording this video on D-Day, like some people call it for some reason. So 3 hours after the first new crafted golds hit the market. So we are bringing news today live from Omaha Beach basically. And at this time it looks like there's not a lot happening, but we'll see over the next days. At the moment prices are going up because people are trying to buy the dip, while there is no dip at the moment. What we can look at today is a first glance of which knives and gloves are the most profitable to trade up to, which you should definitely stay away from, and what all of these prices mean for the future of the market. Where you should not stay away from is my sponsor SkinsMonkey.com. SkinsMonkey is an automated CSGO bot trading site. They offer a huge amount of skins to instantly trade to, 24/7 live chat support and a 35% bonus on every cash deposit. With our referral code NEON you can get a free up to $5 bonus on your first trade when exchanging items worth at least $100. So like you can see here, I've calculated a little bit and found this cool deal on SkinsMonkey. I also used my $5 bonus. I just selected these 5 items out of my inventory for these 2 gut knife safari meshes field tested. I even got some leftover balance on the side, which I can use for my next trade. The 2 gut knives were on trade logs, so I just saved them onto the side, but some days later I could just withdraw them to my Steam, and as you can see here, I've got a really good upgrade and with my bonus code also a really good deal. So check out SkinsMonkey right now. Link to the site with my bonus code is in the description. Okay, before we say anything here, big fat disclaimer. I am recording the video on the 30th of October, after the first new crafted golds hit the market. And all the data I bring you here is based on that. The numbers will change a lot. But no matter when you watch this video, even in like 2 weeks, I still think you can learn a lot. Just double check all the prices before you do anything after watching this video. Also, for transparency, I am buying some of the profitable items I talk about in this video. Okay, enough. I put in a few hours and calculated all the prices, results and return of investments of every gold you can trade up to now. And with current prices, most of these red to gold trade ups are on average profitable. Why average? Because in most trade ups you still have only like a 30% chance to profit, but you profit by a lot. So on average the return you get is worth more than the inputs you put in. Which also means if you are unlucky you can still lose money on an even 200% ROI trade up, which I found some. Let's look at my data. Okay, here we are in my mighty Excel sheet. First, explain how this works. Here you have all the gold series. Not every case has its own set of golds. For example, Kilowatt and Gallery have the same cookery knives. So these are all the gold series in existence. And yeah, I calculated the cheapest input. And then I put in all the prices from China and the West for these inputs. And then we get to a result. Let's start with the worst case to trade up to. Not surprising, the shadow case. These go with a 30% return. I don't think there is a single item you can get. I don't think even the best blue gem shadow daggers would be enough to put in the input cost of on average around $250. Next up, pretty close, the cookery knife cases and the Felgen cases. The first that might be a profit are the glove and Hydra cases, so the OG really expensive gloves where all the Pandora's box and so are in it. These are the first, at least on Western markets at the moment, they are at 110%, but on Chinese still a loss. So I think it's really hard to say if these are profitable. Next up, and our last loss, is the classic knife is still not popular. And on average, you only get around 90% back here. Also, a little note here, all the glove cases, it is really important that you check for floats. Because the new trade-up system calculates floats differently. It now depends on what float range the item has. And yeah, if you check some floats, you can trade up field-tested items into minimum wear gloves. And you might know, On gloves, this makes up a lot of price difference. I just went with the cheapest inputs here. If you find a good trade-up to minimum wear gloves or are able to snipe some field tested, these return of investment numbers will most likely be a bit higher. I would say the first profitable with 98% in China and 112% in the West is Horizon and Danger Zone. There are only 5 set of goals at the moment that are not profitable to trade up to. Before you run and buy all the reds and just trade up and think you print money, please watch the video to the end because there's way more to that. Okay, then I would call 4 mid-tier collections here. I was really surprised that it seems to be, at least in China, the Huntsman and the Wildfire are a little bit profitable, but on the West they are not, so I would also say they are about breaking even. Same with all the others. Again, these are glove cases here, please check for floats. So yes. Now we start with the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cases that are heavily profitable at the moment. A little note here, I'm pretty sure that some of these numbers are not correct because something like Black Pearls, price of it didn't change a lot. I tried to adjust it, but another disclaimer here, the market is extremely volatile. This is just my best guess of what the current selling price would be and basing on that making these calculations. But we have a lot of headroom because the worst of these profitable knives is the normal chroma cases. So the original Dopplers, for example. These go China 140%, here in Western 167%. And of course, you can get Fire and Ice and Doppler pattern. I don't mean gems here. Gems are already included with their chances to get them. I mean, for example, a really red phase 2, which sells for much more. Really curious what this number will be in like 1 week. Same with the OG knives. I was really surprised here, and the Chinese and Western numbers are more fitting in this one, so I'm pretty sure this is more correct. You have a good chance of getting a really expensive Fade or even a $1 million, most likely no longer $1 million blue gem, and you still make around 40% on every trade up. The next 5 are really special in my opinion. Especially the Gamma and Dreams and Nightmares, which are all the emerald knives, seem to be profitable on every market by a lot. They just have emeralds. It's not that there's not that much data like with Black Pearls, for example, because they are so rare. So the Dreams and Nightmares and Riptide cases, so just the Dreams and Nightmares because Riptides are fucking expensive, is a 170% profit at the moment. And the Gamma case around 200% on both markets. And that these are really similar really says something. Next one would be a Breakout because butterflies are just really expensive, and if you're not unlucky like me, you might get a Butterfly Fade or similar. On Chinese markets, 200%, on Western markets, 150%. It was really interesting to see that Chinese markets sometimes differ more, because if you buy these fillers in China and sell the item on a Western market, like I said, the prices will stabilize, people will take advantage of the differences and they will just smoothen out over time. But if you, for example, buy 5 roll cages for 190, you on average get back on CS Float and Western markets around $500. This is like a fucking 275% return of investment. Not bad. Like I said, the numbers will not stay, just that you are aware that you can also do that. Breakout, also pretty good. Butterfly knives, 200% in China, 150 in Western markets. Really interesting that those don't stack up. And the last one, which is insanely profitable in China, but again, I think that's just because Black Pearls and stuff are not adjusted yet in price. I came up with 400% in China and 160 in Western markets. It's definitely not 400%. I think it's way less. I would compare it to the Breakout most likely, but it is very likely profitable. This is the data I came up with. Take this with a big grain of salt. It's just the best guess I could do with all the data I have right now. These high ROI numbers also mean that something will 100% change in the future. Either the results going down or the reds going up. As long as these are profitable, many people, me included, will buy the inputs and just trade them up, because it is profit on average. And the prices will bounce back and forth until they stabilize, most likely because people love gambling, a little under 100%. Also be aware that these bounces take some time because of these trade locks, because people will do trade ups right now, calculating with the numbers right now, but the prices will be different when they can actually sell the item in 8 days. So whenever you do something or buy and sell items, please be aware of that. And yeah, that's it already. What do you think about these trade-offs? Where do you think these prices will end up with? I am Neon, and I'll see you guys in the next one.